Hey, I have a second channel. Cube Comp MTDX. Hey everybody. So here we have the Cube TiViBox Slim, the first one that I made in a DirecTV set-top box. This has a little mini ITX motherboard out of an HP desktop or a compact. CQ 2014 I think was the model. It's an AMD E-300 APU. As we all know, is terribly underperforming. First I tried installing Android 9 on this, but for some reason the installer would always freeze no matter what I tried. So I ended up trying the little bit older Android 8, Android TV x86, and I basically ran the live CD or the live version off of the USB stick, and in this video I'm going to actually install it on here and try it out. I'll provide a link to the Android TV 9, which is a little bit newer, as obviously something a little bit newer you may have a better experience with, but at least for the purpose of this video we're going to be trying out the Android TV x86 version 8. So it's based off of Oreo, Android Oreo, and it runs pretty much on a Linux kernel. That being said, let's go ahead and start this thing up and begin installation. Get on to installation. I'm going to select this existing partition. Format as ext4. Select yes to that. Yes again. Select reboot. Very good. Actually loading up this time. Alright, so I've currently got the Ethernet cable disconnected, because as we all know, Android, like Windows, wants you to sign into an online account generally. And I should mention this machine has a 64 gigabyte SATA solid state drive, which the SSD doesn't really even look like it's being worked all that hard. I also got 4 gigs of memory on board, or DDR3. Okay, so apparently this thing does not even push you through the account setup. I was kind of thinking it would, but apparently it doesn't. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this into the internet because we all know how much this relies on internet access to do its thing. And one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to locate the infrared remote and receiver for this thing because, of course, I do have Windows Media Center remotes kicking around. And I would be interested to see how this works with a Windows Media Center remote control. Okay, so I got the USB infrared receiver plugged in and got our Windows Media Center remote control right here. Let's give this a shot. Let's see if it... Yep, it at least the up and down arrows and the left and right arrows seem to work. So let's have a look at, well, looks like there's not a whole lot of stuff on here to begin with. Apparently so the OK button on the remote does not work. Let's try the enter button. So the OK button right there does not work. You have to go ahead and press the enter button to get it to select an item. That could have been what was going on previously. Back button does not work. You have to press, well, let me see what happens when I press the keyboard. Press escape. So you press escape and it goes back. So we're kind of already having some issues with mapping the remote. So I mean, you can press, like for example, you press OK, nothing happens. If you press the enter button down at the bottom of the remote, you can go forward. But when you press clear, which I believe at least on Windows maps as escape, doesn't work, and you press the back button, nothing happens. So that's going to be kind of an issue. So, all right, let's try to go around a little bit more here. Okay. I was noticing that this thing had to have had some apps out of the box. So you can, of course. Yeah, you can, of course, go in the Play Store and install some additional stuff. Yeah, that's kind of a bummer that the Media Center remote does not properly map up with this. So we'll access YouTube just for the heck of it. Yeah, of course, things will probably look a little funky because, of course, we're running this on a 4x3 display when a lot of these apps are designed natively for 16:9 widescreen. I'm going to hit turn off on that. I do not actually have sound. Don't actually have sound hooked up on here, but anyway, let's try hunting for a video. And I don't have a microphone either, so I can't can't do the voice thing. I'm so used to pressing OK on the remote control. Let's see if really is a bummer. There's probably a way somehow to fix that. I know how to do it on Windows, but Linux and of course this a wee bit different. There we are. So there's Q computer channel, which is how it looks on a TV display. Which, by the way I currently use this on the other TVs in the house is, of course, the other TV computers run Windows 10, but you can set up Chrome to run in kiosk mode, and the remote control, for the most part, works really well with it. One thing you have to do is you have to use a trick with Google Chrome, and I think I talked about this in a video, is to tell it to tell YouTube servers that you're basically a Roku or a smart TV, and it gets the YouTube on TV app to load back up. Because back in 2019, Google thought it'd be a great idea to kill off access to it to PCs, so that's a workaround. Now, yep, so this thing, it's struggling big time. And that's because apparently the Android app just tries to run everything at full HD, which this little E-300 just cannot do. It's kind of interesting how 6 or 7 years ago I was able to, okay, it's trying at 720p this time, but yeah, the video performance overall, I've noticed, even with prior testing before doing this video, is it seems that on Windows in the Chrome browser, video playback simply works better. I was kind of hoping it had been the opposite. I was kind of hoping that on something like this, which is generally a more lighter installation, it would do better, but it's not the case. Now, what's funny is how years ago, this thing could play back full HD on Windows Media Center, playback TV. The way it used to work, it used to be like a receiver node for a Seat and Infinite TV system, and it was able to play back TV just fine, but yet it can't play back full HD YouTube in today's age. So, not sure if this could be a driver issue or what. You can see it's just struggling really bad. There's lag, and the video is not actually playing back at all. All you're seeing is just black. So fresh out of the box, there's not a whole lot, at least really to show. Now I will show you around like the settings and things, but see if we can get this to play. I'm going to knock the resolution down, or try anyway. Oh heck, let's just try the mouse. I'm done with that. Let's try 480. See if it will play. There, we finally got something. Now, of course, you're not hearing anything because I don't have any speakers hooked up. I mean, there is just so much lag on this thing right now. It's unreal. So, it seems like 480p is only the way to play back YouTube on this thing. This isn't really to blame. Android TV x86 is not really to blame here. It's just this crappy hardware. But I was wanting to see how it would run on this crappy hardware. So it seems like well, get out of this. Have to press the escape key on the keyboard to go back. I'm not sure what the home button is on this. Let me just try some buttons here. Try to go back to home. Okay, let's keep going back. Let's look in the settings. Of course, there are some things in here which I don't think Google Cast works. I've heard, at least while I was able to see in the release notes, that the Chromecast doesn't work properly. I mean, it's there, but it doesn't work properly. So let's go to About. You can see, and of course, device name again, as I mentioned earlier. The motherboard in this machine came out of a CQ 2014 system. Android version 8.1.0. There's all the built-in apps, which is like, of course, reminds me of looking at a smartphone. In fact, there's actually a phone app in here. And you can see our storage there, 64 gigabyte SSD, showing up at 63 gigs. So as you can see, current keyboard says lean back keyboard. I'm not really sure. This is probably like a pop-up keyboard that you would have like on a phone. Yeah, pretty much. So I mean, if you're familiar with Android, this is pretty typical. You can go in here, you can customize like the home screen and things like that. So it actually seems like the way I'm running things right now, it actually seems like Windows 10 runs better on this thing than this Android TV x86. Not saying it would not work for your needs. Of course, the date and time ain't actually set up or anything. Or is it? Oh, I think I know what happened here. It's probably, yeah, time zone. Reminds me of Windows 10. Okay, now the time is correct. Now I was wondering if it actually found a date and time online. So apparently ain't just Windows 10 and Windows 11 that like to go in and Windows 8 that like to go in and change your system time to a different time zone. But anyways, I don't want to bore you guys too much on this one. Just want to throw this on there just to see how just to kind of see how it would run on this old hardware. Now I can say that I did a similar test a while back putting Android x86 on a Acer Aspire 1 netbook, and I think it actually ran it pretty well. There were some bugs in there in some areas, like particularly having to do with the palm rest and the mouse, stuff like that. But it was still, I mean, it was all right. It wasn't the best, but it was all right. So to shut this down, you can press the power button, and there you have your option to power off or restart. So we'll select power off, and it's already shut down. So I can say it does seem like this is a nice lightweight thing, but for some reason, like YouTube playback is just awful on this hardware. Now it will play back in 720p on Windows 10, but it can't even do 720p in this. And also not really sure how to deal with the remote. Of course, pretty much all TVs have a remote, and I would like to have been able to use the existing Windows Media Center remote and USB receiver, but apparently we're having some issues with key mapping. It's not mapping up some of the keys right on this remote control. So now I can't say I do have a similar issue with the lean back on the YouTube lean back on like Chrome. For example, the back button on this does not work. You actually have to go and press clear to go back. But other than that, the numbers, the OK, navigation buttons, heck, even the play, pause, and fast forward and rewind buttons. Actually, they work now or they did work at some point in the lean back interface. But anyways, that is that's installation and a brief testing of Android TV x86, which this one was version Oreo. Again, I would probably need to have some more time to really play around with it, but I just wanted to throw it on this thing because I did mention I would try it out in a previous video when I put Windows 11 on this thing. I mentioned I would try out Android TV x86, and I figured I'd go ahead and do it. I know it ain't the most exciting thing, but anyways, it is what it is. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.
Well, everybody, that wraps it up for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Computer Channel, and be sure to tick that bell so you'll get notified when new videos are posted. Also, don't forget, I have a whole lot of other interesting videos here on the channel to check out. And also, in addition, I have a second channel, CubeComp MTDX, where I have all sorts of other videos not exactly related to technology. Links to the channels are available at the end of this video. Again, I thank you for your support and thanks for watching this video.